My name is Jordan Weatherall. I'm from Savu Savu. I am a Bible worker in Lami, serving Unduya Church, Kalakana Church, and Wailakutu Church. I'm also fortunate enough to join Choni in the journalism field and soon to be an announcer. I am the oldest son of a single mom. Mom of four. My mom had me when she was my age, 22. So she was not financially able. She had a relationship with my dad and it did not go well. So I wasn't raised in a good home, I would say. I was given up for adoption for 4 years in the province of Weatherall, Domokavu. I was raised for 4 years and attended primary school. And 4 years later, mom returned and she brought me back home. She returned a changed woman. She was rich and an alcoholic.
Oh.
And that didn't go well for me. Being the eldest, nunggu na sonambongi, tu laku tu dua rona singa, tol na singa, less to my wale. I've always looked after my siblings. Being the eldest, wasangay wale, and takanor to uniform, tombeana ulun raw nunggu sista. Bitter na first bus, Karhuli, murayaw, last bus. Lesumay would have a little tea and then go to the garden, water the garden, and sunset you would see a young boy. I love fishing. You see a young boy standing at the edge of the reef, throwing his line out, trying to catch a meal for dinner. And the circle continued for days, for years actually. And Form 3, I attended South Secondary School. Form 4, Form 5, I am a science student, food science student. I took home economics and science. I asked Ma, is it all right if I attended the boarding school for me to be a boarding student? Because I believe if I stay home, I'll continue to look after my siblings. I'll be able to focus on my education.
Right.
She said, don't know kitangane. And my mom, not financially able, she was only to pay $100 for me to start. So I went as a food science student, set for my Form 6, and I passed. I got the highest in home economics. I was the only boy, and I had good grades in biology and chemistry, and not so much in math. But yeah, I finished the year Form 6. I went home, and my early few days of Form 7, I came to school, and the principal met me on the corridor. He said, "Hey, Viksa sing Virimbure." I told him, "Gasnivuli." Unfortunately, cannot pay for my school fee.
Yes.
So he told me, "Mataka katuman umeteresin umeani mo ade may Virimbure." I was so happy. Yes. I continue, I have an opportunity to further my studies. So I set for myself Form 7s and I passed my exams. Graduation day came. Home is 20 minutes drive from school. Home is 20 minutes drive from school. Graduation day, I called them, ito baro graduation. We're about to have graduation ceremony. Anybody coming? So there was no news. So my surname Weatherall, it ends with W. So I sit right at the back of the whole stage, the room. I sit at the back and I could see my friends, their name being called out. And they went up, they received their certificates, their trophies, and their parents came, took photos, hugged them and kissed them, and they went outside and they were having their celebration. And there was I was sitting in my chair. I said, man, is anybody is gonna show up? Is there anyone who will show up? Jordan, Weatherall. So I stood up from my chair. I quickly went up, Maria. I didn't want to cry. You know, you're a man.
Right, you
want
want
supposed to cry, eh?
keep it together.
So I hurried up, received my grades. I scored highest again in home economics, passed mathematics, passed English, and I was awarded as the best student.
Oh, amen.
And yes.
Wow, that is good. I can see it's hard
So
to define.
I received my gift and I hurried back to my chair. Lulu, man, I didn't want to show anybody. And I was crying. I went to the back. I sat in my chair and I sunk in my chair. I said, man, home is just 20 minutes drive away. I have, my mom has 9 siblings. I said, none of them came. I sat in the chair and graduation was over. I called home. Ma, why didn't you come for my graduation? And this is my surname in Sabu Sabu is famous in the police station. So she said, sorry, Jordan, I had to attend a court case. I said, Ma, a court case over your elder son graduation. I said, how could you? I sat in the chair and I cried and I cried. I went back to the dormitory. I was the deputy head boy in the dormitory. I was a tiny guy back then. And I waited for the boys to sleep at night. I snuck out of the dormitory, locked the door, and I ran out and I sat under the coconut tree in our school. And I was crying and I was crying. I was so depressed. I felt like running into a hard wall. I cried and I cried. And in the midst of my tears and crying out, a voice spoke to me and said, look up. I said, what? Out of all the things to do, look up. So I quickly wiped the tears on my eyes and I look up. I couldn't see anything. So I wiped it clearly, and when I looked up, the voice said, you see the many stars in the sky? And that night it was so clear and stars scattered the sky. And the voice told me, that's how much I love you. I was so happy that I serve a God who loves me.
Amen.
Man, I felt the courage that day. I went back to the dormitory. I slept. Today I stand as also a proud sponsor of my sister and her cousin in Vatuvonu Adventist Secondary School. And it's amazing, my experience in the field. It's new for me, serving 3 churches and being a cross-cultural ministry minister. That's something I want to further in my studies. And after the 2 years of my service, I wish to pursue my master's in ministry and probably join the Biblical Research Institution one day. Depression, I'm speaking on depression. Depression, it consumes you. When you are somebody who's depressed, nothing else matters but your feelings and emotion and the pain that you are feeling. Something that I've done and I've seen Paul is madness. Paul is crazy in the Bible. When I read his epistle, he says, rejoice always. Again, I say, rejoice. He say, come before the Lord with thanksgiving. I said, this guy is in prison and he wants us to rejoice. It doesn't make sense. And I figured, when you're in a state of pain and depression, thanking God takes you out of your situation into it takes you outside of your situation. So your focus is on God and His goodness and His mercies and what He's able to do for you. And for me, that Bible verse would be Joshua 1:9. It says, have I not commanded you to be strong and be courageous? Do not be afraid, nor be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.
Young people, fellow youths who are seated here, we all have our rocky roads, different kind of rocky roads, and we hope that challenge from minister will help us today.